Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be sharing with you how I take notes from a textbook. For me, note-taking is information organization where it helps you recall information, retention, and for reference as well. So we will be starting with my study essentials. This is the laptop that I use at home. This is a Lenovo and I got this 2-3 years ago, maybe just 2 years ago. And I also prefer using Audio-Technica headsets. They are the best for me and I'll talk more about that in another video. But here is my notebook. It is a grid notebook that is fountain pen friendly. And here I'm showing you some of my other essentials, different kinds of pens as well as some moisturizers for lips and for hand. Don't forget to moisturize your hands because for me it does get dry and it gets very annoying and very distracting. So here I'm using my typo brush pens once again. I'm not going to be using all the colors and you will see how I use them as we go through this video. So first I want to talk about some of the headers that I am using. This is the first type of header and it is giant because it will just remind me that this is the start of the second chapter that I am taking notes of. And here I'm writing down a quote in full paragraph form. And then I'm also writing down some important information or important points that will be discussed in my notes. And then I'm going to start the first subsection. And this is another type of header. As you can see, it's smaller than the first one that I made. Make sure to use bullet points to organize information. And here I'm using another quote. And I'm using the exact same symbol with a few modifications. And always remember to put down your reference when you're writing quotes. Make sure to take note of enumerated information in the text because they will usually be part of exams. So make sure to take note of them, and you don't have to write down anything in paragraph or even complete sentence forms like what I'm doing here. I'm just using the bullet points to write down some of the important information from the textbook that I have found. Next, I'm going over my notes using this brush pen as a highlighter. Make sure that you go through your notes before you start another section because this will help you retain information better if you make certain notes about some of the information. Next, I'm going to be drawing. Now, I don't draw very often, but when I do, it's because there is something that I want to process, a type of information that I should remember. And as a visual learner, it helps me understand as well as retain this information. Some concepts are very difficult, and if I am able to draw them, it just helps me remember them much clearly or even understand them fully. This is very useful for research papers as well. Your drawing doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be clear to you what you have drawn. And it's the process that's more important here than the actual results. And also, don't forget to label all of your drawings and write down your impressions of any of the concepts that you're studying. And of course, don't forget your reference. Next, I'm starting another subsection. This section is going to be data heavy, so there's a lot of things that I need to remember. And here I'm just writing a few things. Now the trick to this, if it's just information, make sure that you are indenting properly so that the information looks more organized and your notes look neater in terms of how to read it later or in the future, so that if you're looking for a particular thing, you just take a look at your headers and it'll give you an idea of the contents of that particular section of your notes. I also don't use a lot of colors. There's really no need for that for me, and I prefer to use colors if I'm going to highlight or have my mini review. However, using different types of pens will help your headers stand out even more. Next, I'm going to try using a ballpoint pen. So this is to demonstrate that you don't need the fancy pens that I am using, although I will be using some of my brush pen just to make the headers prettier. I'm also using fine liners for my headers or my sections so that they would stand out. So here I'm using a tricolored pen so that I can switch between colors and my notes would be color-coded. It's not very much colors, but it just helps me a little bit. And I also use a lot of symbols when I am note-taking. A lot of arrows, a lot of brackets, just to help me organize all of the information I have written down. It's best to be consistent with the symbols that are using, but at the same time you can use as many symbols as you would like, as many arrows as you would like, and my particular favorite really are bullets. And the best way actually to organize information is by making tables if there's a bunch of information that you want to see. This helps you see the connections between different things and to help compare them with each other. And this is very useful if you are going to have a test on this later on. For me, this is just for reference, so that if I'm looking for anything, any information, confirming any information, then I just take a look at my notes and see what this book has said about it. So the book that I have used or was taking notes of or studying is one of my main textbooks. That's why I am taking a lot of notes. That's it for us today. So here are the notes pages that I have taken. This took about an hour of study, give or take. And I just condensed it into a few minutes, but I hope that you got something out of this, and I'll see you in my next video.